Hi, welcome back to the Wheel of Life at Home
大家
retreat.
好，欢迎回到我们在家里就可以看的线上生命之轮进修营。
And we've reached session 13,
我们已经到了第13堂课了，
and that's called Life in the Womb.
这个称之为子宫中的生命，胎中的生命。
And what's happened is we finished the first two of the 12 links of the Wheel of Life.
那之前呢，我们已经讲完了，就是生命之轮当中12支的前2支。
As you remember, link number 1 was misunderstanding things.
正如你能够记得的，第一支是误解，对事物的误解。
If misunderstanding could talk,
如果误解能说话，
it would walk in the kitchen, and when the husband yells,
他会走进厨房，然后当老公骂的时候，
it would say, I didn't do anything, and he yelled at me.
他就会说：“我什么都没有做，他就骂我了。”
Okay, that's perfect link number 1.
那就是一个完美的第一支，
And it causes all the trouble in our life.
它创造了我们生活当中所有的麻烦。
And that, I didn't do anything. He yelled at me.
那个我什么都没有做，他就骂我了，
That's perfect link number 1, misunderstanding talking.
那就是一个完美的第一支误解在说的话，
And that triggers these 12 links go
这就触发了，就好像这12支是的一环接一环的触发
I。like his translation of
我喜欢他翻译这个，很好。
非常棒。
very good
So it triggers these ones. So I didn't do anything.
所以他触发了，就是一说我什么都没有做，
And that misunderstanding triggers the second link.
然后这个误解就触发了第二支，
The second link says, I'm not stupid, you're stupid.
第二支就会说我才不笨，你才是笨蛋。
So because we have misunderstanding,
那因为我们有了误解，
we make karma.
我们就造了业力，
We plant new seeds.
种下了新的种子。
Now, link number 3.
那到第3支了，
As you see the picture, by the way, we started with a child in the womb, right?
顺便一提，我们的第一张图片是在子宫中的一个婴儿，
Which is the general theme of this whole session 13.
就是我们整一个第13堂课的主题。
But now we're going to go to link number 3.
那现在我们要去到第3支，第3支
It's called consciousness,
叫做觉知，
or you can say awareness.
也可以叫做就是识。
And the traditional painting is a monkey.
然后传统的一幅画面就是一只猴子。
Now listen, many years ago,
那很多年前呢、
I was going to teach the Wheel of Life in Austin, Texas. It's a small city in Texas.
就是我准备要在这个德克萨斯州的 Austin 这个城市，一个很小的城市，要教这个生命之轮。
And I was very excited, and I said, I thought 10 people were coming.
然后我就非常的兴奋，我想应该会有10个人会来参加吧。
And I said, I'm going to order a painting of the Wheel of Life for each person who comes.
然后我就决定说，每一个来参加的人，我都会为你定制一幅生命之轮的画面的图像。
Then I found a painter in Nepal.
然后我在尼泊尔找到了一名画家，
He can paint for like $100 each painting.
然后每一幅画他要花100美金，
And then it will cost me $1,000.
可能会花我成千上千美金
And。I thought, that's okay.
那上千美金我觉得可以接受。
Then the organizer in Texas, they talk like that in Texas.
然后在这个德克萨斯州的那个主办方他就来了，
She called me.
他就打电话给我了。
Oh, guess you
他说：“哦，格西老师，
got 100 people coming.
我们有100人要来了。
I'm like, oh my God, that's $10,000. ”
然后我就想，哦天哪，那是1万美金啊！
So I called the painter in Nepal.
我就电话给这个尼泊尔的画家，
Can we get a little bit cheaper paintings?
我们能不能买一些就是便宜一点的这个画呢？
He said, how much?
他说要多少钱？
I said, well, my budget is $1,000. I need to make 100 paintings.
那我就说我的预算是1000美金，但是呢，所以我要100幅画，1000美金买100幅画。
So to give each participant one painting.
这样子的话，我就能够给每一位参加者就是一幅画。
Then he said, $10, I won't even pick up my paintbrush.
然后他说如果是10美金一幅画的话，我这个画笔我都不愿意拿起来。
Then my friend heard about the problem.
那我的朋友呢，就听说有这个问题，
Gashi Michael, I have solution.
他说：“格西麦克，我有一个解决方案
What?，
什么呢？
I know a school for children in Nepal where they teach painting.
我知道尼泊尔有一个就是学校，他教里面的孩子画画的学校。
And I said, oh, great, we can get the kids to paint.
我说哦，那太好了，我们可以让那个孩子去画。
Then this is the painting I got from the kids.
所以这个就是我们请孩子画回来的照
And
片
that's why each link is painted so badly.
的图像，所以这就是为什么呢？这个每一只的画都这么的糟糕。
But anyway, you can tell link number 3 is a monkey, right?
但是大家应该能够看得出来，就是第三只是一只猴子。
And this represents your mind entering your mother's womb.
这就象征着的是你的意识正在进入到你母亲的子宫里。
Now let's go to the text.
那现在我们回到原文当中，
Sumba namshe la gidu dan deduki namshe ni. So now we reach link number 3,
现在我们讲到了第三只，
which is consciousness.
那就是识或者觉知。
And you can divide all consciousness into 2 kinds.
你可以把所有的觉知分为2类，
One is consciousness at the time of the cause.
第一个是因为觉知，在因的时候的觉知
And the
原因；
second is consciousness at the time of the result.
第二是果位觉知。
Now, what does that mean?
那是什么意思呢？
So the text says, Dambani, what is consciousness at the time of the cause?
那因为觉知是什么意思？
Dujeki leki pakchak sha matape namshe dang. In link number 2,
在第二支里，
the woman yelled back at her husband,
就是那位女士就回骂她的老公
I'm not stupid, you're stupid.
我才不笨，你笨。
And those words came out of her mouth,
然后那些话从她的嘴中说出来，
touched the husband's ear,
触碰到老公的耳朵，
then the husband like that.
老公就这样子。
But those words also circle around to her own ear,
但是那些话也绕了一圈，回到她自己的耳朵里面，
and they go into her mind,
然后进入到她的意识，
and they make an imprint on the mind.
在意识当中留下了一个印
And
记。
that's what this book now says, Dujeki leki bakchak.
这就是这本书讲到的 Ducheki Leki Bacha。
So bakchak is another word for karmic seed.
Bacha 是另外一个就是形容业力种子
And
的
it's that
词，
imprint on the mind.
就是意识里面的印记。
So it goes like this.
所以它是这样的：
Misunderstand the husband.
误解了老公
Link，number 1.
第一支
Are you doing it?
我什么都没有做，
Link number 2.
然后到第二支
I'm not stupid, you're stupid.
我不笨，你才笨。
Link number 3 is 1 second later.
第三支就是一瞬间之后，
That sound reaches her own mind,
那个声音传到他自己的耳朵里，
and it makes us an impression there at bakchak.
然后就在那边留下了一个印记，就是 Bacha。
The mind at that moment is called the consciousness of the time of the cause.
那个时候的意识就叫因为识。
Nipani, now, but what's the consciousness at the time of the result?
那这个果位识又是什么呢？
Kesi do ningsamja matape tuki namshe deniyan. Well, that's the monkey.
那就是猴子，
And it's your awareness entered your mother's womb.
指的是你的意识、你的心识进入到母亲的子宫里。
So your mind, at the moment that you plant a new seed,
譬如说，那个在你种下新的种子的时候的意识，
that's called consciousness at the time of the cause.
那个叫做因位识，未知的未；
And then consciousness at the time of the result
而果位识
is just after your mind goes into your mother's womb and you make the crossing to that new life.
然后就在你的识进入到母亲的子宫里，然后你跨越到下一世的那个时候。
Then Pabon Korpiche wants to give us an example.
然后呢，帕崩卡仁波切想要给我们举个例子。
Perna marikbe kune langte. Let's say that your motivation, your misunderstanding pushes you to do something.
譬如说我们举例说，你的动机是误解，你的误解导致你做了一些事情。
Like there's a very common misunderstanding nowadays.
现在有一个非常就是常见的误解
Oh, if you want to be healthy,
如果你想要健康，
you have to eat a lot of protein.
你要吃很多的蛋白质。
And the best place to get the protein
那获取蛋白质最好的地方
is to kill the animal
就是去杀死
and
动
then
物，
they eat their body.
然后吃掉它们的身体。
So this is motivated by misunderstanding.
这是由误解所引发的。
I became vegetarian about 35 years ago.
我是35年前就已经成为了素食者。
All my friends from Princeton University,
我那些所有的普林斯顿的朋友，
they told me, "Oh, Mike, you're gonna get sick. You don't have enough protein. You are not eating meat."
然后他们都跟我讲说，哦，麦克，你会生病的，你这个蛋白质摄入不够，你会生病的
I'll，tell
因
you,
为你没有
tell you
吃肉。
something true.
但是我想跟大家讲一些真相，
All those guys are dead.
所有那些人现在都死
They
了，
all had a heart attack,
他们都得什么心脏病
diabetes,
或者糖尿病，
obese
或者就是过度肥胖，
because they eat too much meat.
因为他们食肉过多了，
So that's a kind of misunderstanding.
所以那是一种误解。
Oh, I have to eat meat to be healthy.
我必须得吃肉才能够保持健康，
Then you pay people to kill the animal.
然后你还付钱让别人帮你杀死动物。
So he says, "Sokchuki le duche petse." Now, when someone kills the animal for you,
所以他就提到在这里提到说，当有人为你杀死一只动物的时候，
and suppose le lam zok, okay, le lam zok.
然后 lay lam 就
This le lam is a very exciting word for all of you people who went to programs by DCI.
lay lam 这个词啊，其实对所有就是去参加过金刚商学院课程的朋友来讲，都是很重要的一个词。
The word le
lay 这个词
means karma.
就是业力，
The word le lam
那 lay lam
means a path of karma.
就是业道
For $50,
啊，$50，
what's the difference between karma and the path of karma?
就是业力跟业道之间的区别是什么 ？So lay lam is the complete 4 steps of planting the karma, and karma is not the one that is not complete with the 4
Unfortunately,
steps.
you are correct.
很不幸的就是 Stanley 说对了。Can I translate my own answer?
Yes.
就是他的回答是业跟业道的区别，就是业道是完整的4步骤完成的，才叫业道；不完整的业力就是业。
Yeah, Sivito
4步骤 4
is a
steps，
le lam. How do you say le lam?
业道，
Ye dao, dao.
业道，道
业道 OK
道德经
Yeah,
道，
ye li de dao.
对，yeah， 业
Okay,
道。
le lam. So, zopa, then let's say you killed the animal.
比如说你杀了动物，
All 4 steps were complete.
然后全部的4步骤都完整，
What's the 4th step?
那这4步骤是什么呢？
I want protein so I can be healthy. Number
就
one.
我想要吃蛋白质，因
Say
此我
what you
能够
want.
健康，就是第一步要决定你要的是什么。
Number 2.
第二步，
Who's gonna be your bad seed planting?
谁会是你的这个种坏种子的伙伴呢
A？pig.
就是一只猪。
Number 3.
第三，
How to do the bad deed?
如何去造这个恶行呢？
Pay the store to pay the guy to kill the pig. Then you collected 3 new bad karmas.
付钱给商店，然后商店可以付钱给另外一个人去把猪给杀死，这样子你会造3个恶业。
What's step 4?
第4步呢？
Oh, I'm so glad I ate the pork today.
我今天吃了猪肉，我太开心了，
Now I will have muscle.
现在我会有肌肉了。
Okay, so that's a le lam zo.
那个就是业道，
All 4 steps are complete.
就是这全部的4步骤都是完整
In
的。
DCI programs, which you should go to
那在金刚商学院的课程当中，那是你应该要去的，我建议大家要去的，
for advice about success in your life,
就是能够获得如何在生活当中成功的建议，
especially financial success.
尤其是财务上的成功。
We will talk about 4 steps for good seeds and good goal.
我们会讲怎么用这4步骤去种好种子，然后实现好的目标。
But here we're talking pivotal 4 steps for a bad seed.
但这里呢，我们讲的是种坏种子的4步骤。
So the minute you finish the 4th step, you're going to bed, you're doing anti-coffee meditation. I'm so glad I ate the pork. Now I will have big muscle.
然后就在你去做这个反咖啡冥想的时候，也就是说在你睡觉的时候，然后你在想我太开心了，我吃了猪肉，这样子我可以变得很强壮。
So the mind at that moment, the consciousness at that moment,
在那个时刻的心识，
where the seed is imprinted into, here's the mind,
这是意识嘛？
that's called the consciousness of the time of the cause.
然后那个种子就刻在那里了，所以这个时候就叫因位时，
Because the seed is being planted, the cause is being planted
因为这个因正在被种下，
into the consciousness.
种入到心识里。
Le de tu la tene nyawe kesi de ning sam jama top and nekap kinam she de de kinam she in. But because of that power of that karma,
但是呢，因为这个业力的力量，
You die and you cross the bridge into the new life to the hell realms.
你死了，然后呢，你跨越到这个生死的桥梁，然后你受生到了地狱界。
That mind travels from the life where you killed the pig up to the life you go to the hell.
这个心识呢，从你就是作为人杀死猪的这个地方，转移到了你受生为地狱众的那个地方。
The moment you reach the hell,
就在你到达地狱那一瞬间，
your mind at that time,
你那个时候的心识，
we call it the consciousness of the time of the result.
我们就称它为果位时。
Then he makes another statement in the text. Migewele,
然后他在原文当中又讲了另外一句话，
re kangen song kikewa mambo pienu. Okay, one, each time you make bad karma,
就每一次你造恶业，
each time you eat animal's body,
每一次啊你去吃动物的身体，造这种不善业，
each one of those eatings has the power to create many births in the lower realm.
然后每一次那样的吃动物的行为，都能够造成你多次受生到下三界里。
So, like if that factory that kills the pig, they really make the pig suffer.
如果那个杀猪的那个工厂真的让猪因此受很大的苦，
And you eat the pork.
然后你吃那样的猪肉，
It's not one suffering life going to come from that. Many.
不是会说从中有一次的受苦的生命，而是很多次，
That's
很
the
多次，
badness.
那就是坏
The
消息。
next sentence has the goodness.
下一句话有一个好消息，
Te shin sinam gile sokla ring de. But when you make good karma,
但是呢，当你造这个善业的时候，
you can do the same thing.
你也可以有同样的事情发生。
Okay, you make one nice tea for your friend,
你为你的朋友就是泡一杯茶，
and you dedicate it to becoming a Buddha.
然后你把它回向到让你成佛，
That one making tea will give you many rebirths, happy rebirths.
所以那一个一次的泡茶的行为，就会给你带来多次快乐的、幸福的受生。
So how does that action of eating the pork, how does this imprint press on the mind? How does it happen?
那这个吃猪肉的行为，这样的行为是如何刻到你的心识里的呢？
And this is a big question in the mind-only school.
这个是唯识宗当中的一个很大的问题。
We spent a long time discussing it in the Mixed Nuts translation classes.
我们有在混合坚果的翻译课程当中花很长的时间对此做讨论。
Those classes are free online on YouTube,
那些课呢是免费的，在 YouTube 上面可以看的，
Tibetan Language Channel,
叫做 Tibetan Language Channel 这个频道，
600 hours.
有600个小时
You，should look at them.
你们应该要去看一看。
Okay. So, Teta Chemala Num Shupaam. If you have a sand
如果你有一些沙子，
and you drip oil on it,
然后你浇一些油在上面，净油，
like in America, in the car fixing places,
然后在美国就是修车厂的地方，
the oil will get on the floor
他们会先把沙子铺在地上，
and it becomes very slippery.
然后就很滑嘛，因此
So they will spread sand on the
啊，
floor.
然后他就先把油如果弄到地上的话很滑，所以他们会撒上一些沙子，
And the sand will absorb the oil.
沙子就会吸油。
And that's one example for how the consciousness absorbs the input.
然后这是其中一个例子来说明这个心识是如何吸住这一些印记的。
Or shokbula telze gyapa. Or it's like the way that you telze right here.
跳这
Yeah.
no
Good. You don't know.
不知道
I'll give you another Tibetan word. Chakya.
check it mudra
Yeah. What's the real meaning of mudra?
Uh,
This is $20. Dang. Okay, $20.
OK
Stamp. Telze is the other word for stamp.
它这就是印章盖印的另外一个
So,
词。
in the old days, the great emperors would stamp the paper with their seal.
所以以前呢，就是那个古老的皇帝啊，就会用这个他们的玉玺来盖章。
And that's another example for how the seed is imprinted on the mind.
然后这是另外一个例子，讲的就是那个种子是如何盖到这个心石里的。
And Leki Bakcha Gupa here it's an unusual Tibetan word.
Gerba 这个词是一个不太寻常的藏文词，
But it's an important word in the study of seeds.
但是在种子的学习当中是一个很重要的词。
It almost means like if you take a jasmine flower
它的意思几乎是这样子的：如果你拿一朵茉莉花，
and you wipe it on your clothes,
然后你在你的身上抹，在衣服上
and
抹，
that smell will get into the cloth.
然后那个香气啊就会熏到这个衣布里面。
What's another good word? Tim, what's another good word for gupa? It gets imbued.
就是
Infused. Good.
就是渗透到这里
The
面。
smell gets infused.
这个香气就渗透到里面去了。
So you can say imprinted,
所以你可以说就是印上
or
去
you
的，
can say infused.
可以说是熏染上去的，染
Shapala.
上去的。
And then that seed needs water and fertilizer,
然后这一些种子会需要水跟肥料，
which is two kinds of desire, link number 8 and link number 9.
那就是两种欲望，就是第8支跟第9支。
And we'll talk about those two kinds of desire later because they're not really desire.
这两种欲望我们之后会跟大家讲解，因为它们其实并不是真正的欲望。
But link number 8 and link number 9,
那但是第8支跟第9支，
they take the seed from link number 2,
他们会就这个第2支的种子，
which was infused into link number 3, your mind.
就是被熏染到第3支里，就是你的心识里。
They water it, they give it fertilizer,
然后他们会给它浇水，给这种子浇水施肥，
and then that karma becomes extremely powerful.
然后那样的业力就会变得极其的强大。
And we'll talk about it later.
之后我们会来再谈一谈。
Okay, we're going to go to link number 4.
好，现在我们要讲到第4支了。
This is called Nama Rupa, name and form.
这个叫名与色，名色。
And the image is two guys in a boat.
对应的图片是在一艘船上有2个人。
Now, if you remember, in link number 3, your mind was entering your mother's womb.
如果你还记得的话，在第3支讲的是你的心识进入到母亲的子宫里面，
Or an egg, or, things like
or in
or into an egg.
或者进入到一只卵里面，进入到卵里面。
But talking about normal human birth.
讲到如果是普通的人类的受生，
Shiba mingsuk langya kiki wanda china. So if we're going to talk about link number 4,
如果我们要来讲第4支的话，
name and form.
就是名色。
Let's stick to people who are born from a womb.
我们还是就是仅按照在这个胎中受生的人来讲好了。
So when you say name,
所以当我们说名字，
it's really a reference to the 4 of the 5 parts of a person.
它其实指的是人的5蕴当中的其中4蕴。
So in English, we say body and mind.
在英文当中我们会说身心，
But in Buddhism,
但是在佛教当中
we say the 5 parts.
我们讲5蕴。
So normally in English, we just say body and mind.
通常在英文当中我们只说身心，
The physical part and the mental part.
就是你的物质的部分跟你的意识的部分。
But in Buddhism,
但是在佛教里面，
we divide body and mind into 5 parts.
我们把身心总共分为五部分5蕴。
So 4 of them are called Mingshi Pumbo, which means the part of you which is called name.
就是另外其中的4部分称之为 Minshi Kumbo， 它的意思就是名，称之为名的蕴。
So it has 4 of the 5 parts are included into the name when you say name and form.
就是当我们讲名色的时候，5蕴当中有4蕴是归到名蕴那里的。
So these are Sorwa, Dushe, Duche, Namshe, these 4.
所以有这四个蕴。
Sorwa,
说完
your feeling.
你的感受，
Good feeling, bad feeling, neutral feeling.
好的感受、不好的感受、中性的感受，
Body feeling, mental feeling.
身体的感受，还有意识的感受。
Dushe,
都是
your habit of dividing things. That's big, that's small, that's tall, that's short, that's my friend, that's my enemy.
那就是想，就是你去区分事物的能力，那是大，那是小，那是我的朋友，那是我的敌人等等。
Then duce means other parts of you, like the seeds in your mind.
Duce 就是行运，意思就是你身体的别的部分，譬如说你意识当中你的五蕴的别的部分，譬如说你的种子，
And in namshi,
还有 namshi，
your mind.
你的时运。
These four are called name when we say name and form.
所以当我们说名色的时候，这四蕴就可以统称为名。
Basically, you can think of these four as your mind inside your mother's womb.
那基本上你可以这么认为，就是这四蕴就是你在母亲胎中的意识。
Namshe, Shupe, Kuchaki, Memepo, Sogni, Sukitendote. So what is the form part of name and form?
那名色当中的这个色是指什么呢？
In the very first moments inside your mom's womb,
就是当你在你母亲胎中的最初的那个时刻，
it's the mother's menstrual blood and the father's semen which are mixing together.
就是父母的精血混合在一起的时候，
And your mind goes into it at link number 3.
你的心识在第三支的时候进入到这个精血中，
And then that's pretty much your body at that moment is just a little puddle of blood and semen.
所以那个时候基本上可以说这就是你的身体了，就是一点点的精血的泡泡。
And here there's a very unusual word, mermerpo.
这里有一个很不同寻常的词叫 memepo，
And this refers to the first of 10 stages of life of a human.
这里指的就是人类生命当中10大阶段的第一个阶段。
And these are, how do you say? I'm going to teach you those 10
这10个阶段我将会教给大家，
because I like to go deeper.
因为我想要讲更深一点。
And he mentions the first,
他提到了第一个阶段
which is called mermerpo.
叫 memepo，
Kind of means a little sticky mess,
就是指的是一点点黏黏稠稠的
blood and
东西，
semen together.
也就是精血混
And
在一
that's your
起，
body at that moment.
那就是你在那个时刻的身体。
Okay, and so Pabonkur, before I go on to those 10,
所以在我继续往下讲到这10个阶段之前，
which is extra, okay, it's just to go deeper.
额外的内容只是我们想要学得更深。
He says maybe we should call this link number 4.
他说，或许我们应该把这第4支称之为，
Instead of calling it name and form,
与其把它称之为名色，
which is really mind and body,
那实际上就是身心。
maybe we should call it either mind or body at that moment.
那或许我们应该把它称之为在那个时刻的名或者色。
Okay, which part are you focusing on is the link at that moment.
就是说你在那个时刻这一支所专注的是哪一个部分？
Okay, so I did some work and I got what I think is the best explanation of the 10 stages of life that starts with memorable, which is that little mess of liquids.
那我就做了一点准备工作，找到了能够解释这个人的10大生命阶段，从这个 memorable 就是一些粘稠物，就精血混合物开始的一个最好的解释。
And this comes from a very famous commentary on vowed morality, Vinaya.
这个是来自于就是对戒律的最好的一个注解之一。
And it's written by, let me make sure. Oh, yeah. It's written by Tsonawa Shirub Sambo.
它的作者为 Sunawa Sheppo
Shirub
Sambo
Sambo. He lived about 200 years before Tsongkhapa.
他大概是宗喀巴大师生前200年前的一个人。
He wrote a brilliant 2-volume commentary on vowed morality.
就是他就这个戒律写了一个有2卷的极其超凡的一部论释，
And it's called a Chendel.
叫做 Chendel。
Chendel means a commentary where there are also some footnotes.
Chendel 的意思就是有脚注的论释。
And actually, I took the footnotes out of this section because it's too complicated.
实际上我把那个脚注的部分已经除掉了，在这一部分当中，因为太复杂了。
But still, it's a beautiful description.
但它仍然是一段非常美妙的注解。
So we're gonna go through this part.
所以我们会讲一讲这一部分，
It's gonna take some extra time.
会需要一点额外的时间。
I hope you'll be patient with me.
我希望你们能够对我保持耐心，
Don't complain, you're getting extra.
不要抱怨，因为你得到了额外的内
Okay,
容。
here we go. We're gonna follow the Tibetan.
好，我们要开始了，要跟着藏文来读。
Nir kherpala nekap churiyete. Now, let's say you happen to be a human.
假设你是受生为人了，
Your life can be divided into 10 stages of life.
那你的生命就能够分为10部分，10个阶段。
And Shakespeare wrote a beautiful little text about the stages of life.
那这个生命的阶段呢，其实关于这一点，莎士比亚有写了一段小小的非常美的
And
诗。
I'm going to give you that at the end as dessert.
我在最后的部分会给大家讲讲这部分，当做甜点给大家。
Okay, Undenle means the commentary to Val morality, which shines like light.
那个这一句话的意思就是像日光照耀的这一本注解戒律的论释。
And that was written maybe more than 1,000 years.
那是大概可能是1000年前所写下的。
So now it's quoting this older Vinaya book from India.
所以索纳瓦在引用着另外一本更古老的来自于印度的戒律的经典。
Near Chapani, so the stages of human life.
然后这个人类生命的阶段，
Number 1, Mermer.
第一是 Memer，
Nor, number 2.
第二 Nunur，
Number 3, Tartar.
第三 Tatar，
Number 4, Changyur.
第四 Changyur，
Number 5, Kanglakyu.
第五 Ganakyu，
Number 6, Shiba.
第六 Chiwa，
Number 7, Shunu.
第七 Shunu，
Number 8, Nyalpop.
第八 Nyalpa，
Number 9, Parma.
第九 Pama，
Number 10,
第10
Gembo.
Gambo。
These are the 10.
这是10个阶段。
Then he explains what the 10 are.
他有解释这10个阶段是什么意思。
The ancient commentary, which was written by Shakya Prabha,
然后由这个 Shakya Papa 所写下的古老的论
he
释，
doesn't really explain the 10 much.
并没有很多的解释这10个阶段。
So here's now Santawa's comment.
所以以下是索纳瓦的一个解释。
Tenam ge kepani. So what's the difference between these 10?
那这10个阶段之间有什么不同呢？
Pame mitsawa ni tsokshin. When the two, he calls it dirty liquids.
他说他把它称之为两种肮脏的液体，
From your mom and your dad,
也就是来自于你父母
when they mix together in the womb,
的精血。当他们在子宫当中混合在一起的时候，
and then the mind from the bardo enters that blood and semen.
所以那个中阴身的心识呢，就是在此时进入到了精血当中。
And during the first week of the formation of the fetus,
当这个卵呢形成的头1个星期，
and we call it mer.
我们把它称之为 memer bo。
And what's it mean?
那是什么意思呢？
And here it's misspelled.
这里有
Jimatabo.
误写
Jimatabo.
Dimatabo。
So, you know a pond of water
大家我们知道，就是有一些水
or Indian tea,
或者印度的拉茶，
and you pour in the milk
就是你倒到那个牛奶里，
and you boil it.
然后去烧它去
And
煮。
then when it gets cool,
当它就是冷下来之后，
we call scum. There's a layer on the top, gets a little bit.
就是它的上面有一层这个结膜的地方有点硬，变得有
That's
点硬，
jima.
这就是 chima。
Or a very dirty pond has a layer of like scum. Scum means like super dirty stuff on the top.
就是像一些非常肮脏的液体，上面浮有一层这种很脏的东西。
So that's what you look like in the first week. You're like some scum of the cream or something.
那个就是你在生命期的第1个星期看上去的样子，就是很脏脏的一层膜。
And they gave that a name called mermerpo, which doesn't mean a lot in Tibetan. It just means icky, gooey stuff.
Memebo 就有这么一个专门的命名，指的就是一些就是脏脏的、臭臭的东西。
Duntag Nipala, in the second week of development in the womb,
然后在子宫当中的第2个生命阶段，
you take a shape we call Nornorpo.
然后我们称之为 Nobo 的这个形态就会出现。
Shotabardu. Your body is a little bit like yogurt.
你的身体有点像那个酸奶一样的。
Sharma Kirpao. and it starts to form into like a flat piece of cloth.
它开
Strip,
始
like a strip.
就是形成了有点像就是一
Like a
小
ribbon.
块
Like a ribbon.
一小块这个像彩带一样一小块的这个衣服的材料布料一样的，
That's called nornor.
这就叫做
So you're a
诺诺。
little bit longer, but you're skinny like tape.
就是你的身体会变长一点点，但是很薄的，就像一块黏布一样的，很薄。
Dunta Sumbala in the 3rd week.
然后到第3个星期，
Tartarpo, you get tartarpo.
你就会得到 double。
And that little strip ribbon of flesh becomes a little bit wider. Like you can see almost starting to become a cylinder.
OK， 就是你会发现这一根带子啊，它就变得更宽一点点的，它有点形成圆柱体的样子了。
Dunta Shibane in the 4th week.
然后到第4周，
We call Changyur. As you start to get more stiff,
然后就变成 changyu， 就是会变得更硬一点了。
Kawargyurte, you take on some, we take in English, you take on some body like a cylinder.
就是你的身体的形态就变得有点像圆柱体了。
And you can actually push on it and it will stay like that.
就是如果你按上去的话，它还会有一些反应，
A little bit firm.
对，还就是有一点点的坚固了。
Step number 5.
然后到第5步，
Kangla gyupani shalak tabur kirte. Then they don't say the week, but the next step is called arms and legs are starting to squeeze out.
就是下一步的步骤，就是说这些手脚四肢开始伸出来了。
Like if you get a goiter, on the throat, you get a big bump come here.
就是如果这里长了一个瘤的话，
Or you get a wart on your face. Like
或者你脸上长了一个痘痘之类
okay,
的，
so then the kid's arms and legs are like bumps.
就是这孩子婴儿的手脚就像长瘤一样，就是会有一些凸起。
Stage number 6,
然后到第6阶段
called Shiba. You know this.
叫 chiba，
You had it for non-Arya. It means
stupid child，
it means an infant.
infant，
Yeah, in English,
Shimba.
infant. And the
就是婴儿。
definition
而这个定义
is that you came out of your mom,
就是你从胎中出来了，
but you can't walk or crawl. You just stuck there.
但是你还不能走路或者不能爬，你就是卡在那里了。
And Stanley knows this word because it's also used in Buddhist philosophy to describe a person who hasn't seen emptiness yet.
就是 Stanley 也知道这个词，因为在佛教的哲学当中，这个婴孩这个词也用作去形容那些不懂空性、未见空性的人。
They're like a little baby who can't even crawl.
他就像一个就是还没有学会爬的小婴儿。
Stage 7 in a human life.
然后人类生命的第7，
Shunini dronune dupachumi nipao. From the time that you can crawl
从你能够开始爬走的这个阶段，
up to the time that your body is mature enough to have a sexual experience.
直到你身体能够成熟到有性行为之间，
That's called youth, or
这就叫
boy or
做
girl.
就是男孩女孩，就是你的少年时期。
Okay, the next one is called Tarla Bapa. I mispronounced it before. I said Nyalpa, but the carving was wrong. It's Tarla Bapa. Okay.
正确读应该是他郎 ，is number 8第8个阶段。
Tarla Bapa ni Dupa Chini Chinupane Lo Sumju Menchento. From the time that you are old enough to have your first sexual experience up to the time of 30 is called young adult.
230
Up to the age of 30.
up to 30，
Yeah.
就是从你足够成熟，能够进行第一次性行为的阶段开始，一直到你30岁之间，也就是说，这是一个年轻的成人的阶段。
Tarmani, then what we call, what do we say, young adult, right?
young adult.
Middle age.
然后到中年
In，English we call middle age.
英文当中说叫中年
And in
middle
Tibetan,
age，
well, same. But it means from 30
指的是从30
on up to 50.
一直到50，
Level, stage 9.
也就是第9个阶段。
What do we say? Middle age. Okay, middle age.
Yeah, that's middle age. Yeah, 这是中年。
Stage 10 is called elderly.
然后这个第10个阶段叫老年，
Starts at age 50.
从50岁开始。
But for some people, it's 68, okay?
但对于有些人来讲是68岁才开始
Just
的，
kidding.
开玩笑的。
Why are we talking about those stages?
那我们为什么要讲这些阶段呢？
Because we heard the first stage,
因为我们有听到讲做第1个阶段，
and it was inside the womb.
它就在这个胎中，
And it was just the 5 parts of you stuck to the blood and semen of your dad and mom like your new body.
就是说那个阶段就是你的身体的五蕴刚刚进入到在你的母亲的子宫里面精血的混合体的部分，
Name and form.
那就是名色，
All your mental parts, etc.,
所有你的意识部分等等，
along with your physical part,
以及你的物质的部分，
in the womb at the first moment.
然后在你的胎中的第1个时刻，入胎的第1个时刻，
That period, in the body and mind inside the womb,
就是你在胎中的身与心，
that's link number 4.
那就是第4支。
2 guys in a boat because the boat represents the womb.
2个人在这个船上，这个船呢其实代表的是胎。
You can see it in the picture here.
你在这里的图片当中可以看得见，
Even if it was drawn by a bunch of kids,
甚至是有一群孩子所画的图。
there's a body and mind, 2 guys in a boat, which is the womb of the mom.
就是有2个人在这个船上，这个船就是母亲的子宫。
Whenever I teach this, and this is the last thing for today's session,
这今天这一堂课的最后一点，就是无论是任何时候我教这个的时候啊，
I love to go to a quotation by Shakespeare.
我喜欢去讲到莎士比亚的所写的东
It's
西。
very, very famous from a play called As You Like It, which is kind of a comedy.
就是从一个这个话剧叫《皆大欢喜》的这个话剧当中，引申出里面的内容，这个是大家都知道的，
So just sit back and relax.
有点喜剧的感觉，所以请大家就是休息，安心的坐着，然后去放松听就好。
I put it in the Tibetan stuff to show on the screen so Tim can follow in English if you want.
然后 Tim 可以就是跟随着这个英文当中来看一看，
All the world is a stage, like a play.
全世界都是个舞台，
And all the men and women are just actors on the stage.
男男女女只是舞台上的演员而已。
Each has their exit and their entrance. There's time when they're supposed to leave the stage, and there's a time when they're supposed to come on the stage like death.
皆有其退场和登场，就是他们都有离开舞台以及上台的时候，那就是生、死与生。
And in our lifetime, we play 7 different actors.
然后在我们一生当中会扮演7种不同的角色。
First, we are the infant, Chiba,
起初是婴儿，去吧这个词，
mewling and puking in his nurse's arm. Nurse is the woman they hired to.
就是在这个他
Mewling
们
means and puking is blah, blah.
就是在这个怀中，就是在他们请来就是带宝宝的这个保姆的怀中，婴儿呢又哭又闹。
Then the second part we all play.
然后呢，我们所有人都会扮演的第2部分，
It's like the same as the 10 parts of the banana.
就像是那个戒律的经典当中提的10大部分一样的。
Then you are the whining schoolboy.
你就是一个哭哭啼啼的学
Oh,
童。
man, don't have to go
哦，
to
妈妈，
school.
我要去上学了。
Yeah, take your satchel means your backpack.
是啊，要带上你的 satchel， 就是你的书包，
All your books.
还有里面所有的书籍都要装上。
And your shining morning face, it means your life is like one day. And in the morning, the face is very fresh and beautiful.
就像你朝阳般的脸庞，脸庞，意思就是说，你的生命就像完整的一天，然后你早上的时候是非常明亮的，充满活力的。
And he agrees to go to school, but he goes as fast as a snail.
然后呢，他同意去上学了，但是呢，他走的速度就像蜗牛的速度一样。
Then he gets, I don't know, 16 years old.
然后他到16岁了，可能，
Then he fall in love.
然后他就堕入爱河
He，or she fall in love.
就是这个人就堕入爱河
First
了。
time, high school.
第一次高中的时候初恋，
Then they sigh like a furnace. Furnace means an old thing to make the fire go. It's like,
然后他们这个唉声叹气，如同这个炉灶冒烟一样。
oh, my boyfriend.
哦，好好好，我的男朋友、女朋友
With。a woeful ballad means a rock and roll song, which is like, oh, she don't love me.
还有就是这个 Waffle Bout 就是一首悲歌，就是说啊、你不爱我了。
He sent to his mistress's eyebrow. He gets up close to his girlfriend and says, I love you, I love you.
然后就说形容这个情人的峨眉，就是靠近他的情人说我爱你，我爱你。
Then later they get more mature.
然后之后他们变得更加成
They
熟，
want to fight in the war.
他们想要参战，
Full of strange oaths. I will defend my country no matter what.
然后 Full of Strange Oath 讲的就是我无论如何就发这个誓言，我会来保护我的国家
Now they can grow beard like part like means like a priest.
然后他们现在就是可以像一个牧师一样，就是长胡子了。
Jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel. You say something to these guys, they're like, I will fight you.
如果你跟他们说一些话，他们会说我会跟你打仗，
Very brave, real Jianlangar.
就珍惜这个荣誉，就是说像战狼二一样非常勇敢。
Seeking the bubble of reputation. They want to be famous.
他们追求虚名，就是他们想要变得著名有名。
But that kind of famous, tough guy lasts like as long as a bubble.
但是这种只是虚名，这种荣誉呢，只会像那个泡泡一样、水泡一样，持续很短的时间。
Even in the mouth of the
转瞬即逝。
cannon, even they're about to die.
哪怕他们对着炮口就是即将死去
They're
了，
like, I'm tough.
他们都会坚持说：“我是一个强大的人。
Then they come back from the war. ”
然后他们从战争当中回来，
They eat too much pastries.
他们会吃过多的甜点，
They start to gain a little bit weight.
他们开始有点变胖了，
They start to collect money.
开始收集财富，积累财
Then
富
they，have better clothes.
然后他们穿上了更好的精良的衣服，
And they are very intelligent and they look at you like this.
然后他们是非常有智慧的，这样看着你。
And then they start quoting wise things.
他们开始满嘴就引用这些智慧的
And
格
they give
言，
you logic.
给你讲逻
They
辑
are，more mature.
他们更加成
Like
熟
they
了，
became a lawyer.
譬如他们变成了律师一样的。
And he also plays he's the fifth part of a human.
这是他们人类生命的第5个阶段了，还是在扮演自己的角色。
What is stage number 6?
那第6个时期是什么呢？
The guy's legs gets those big muscle legs from his wartime get skinny.
就是他们战争时期那种大块的这个肌肉腿里
Then the
很多肌肉
pants,
开始变得越来越瘦，越来
They're
越
not
瘦，
tight anymore. There's a lot of
然后
hair.
这个裤子就不再紧绷了，
Then he
越来越
has to
松
wear
了。
glasses also.
他也要开始戴眼镜了，
And he gets the little special belly for a 67-year-old.
然后有一个67岁的特别的
Little
这
bit
个肚子
round.，
圆圆的肚子，
His socks don't fit him anymore because they're too skinny.
因为这个袜子也不再合穿了，因为变得太瘦了。
He used to talk like that,
然后以前是这样子说话的，
Now he talks like that.
现在他这样子说
like a
话了，
little kid.
像个小孩子一样。
Shopping,
Jensen
get me some water. He loses, even his voice becomes weak.
就是他甚至连声音都变弱了。
Then comes the last scene of all, number 7, right? Number 7.
就是到了第7个阶段，对，最后一场。
It ends this strange story.
然后这个奇怪多事的史剧就这样结束，
He goes back to his childhood.
是2度童年，又回到了自己的童年时期，
Can't think anymore.
遗忘的一片惘然，无法再思考，
Lose the teeth,
没有牙齿了，
lose the eyes,
没有视力了，
lose the taste of the good food.
没有口味，无法品
Lose
尝美食了，
Everything.
丢失了一切。
And that's Shakespeare said.
那就是莎士比亚的这个7个生命阶段，
It's not much different from the wheel of life.
其实跟这个生命之轮并没有什么不
Same
一样，
result.
同样的结果，
Get old
衰老，
and die.
然后死去。
That's all caused because we don't understand our husband in the kitchen.
那都是因为我们不理解厨房里面的老公而导致的。
And we don't have to go like that.
其实我们并不一定要这样走
We
的，
can change it.
我们可以改变的
If。we change the misunderstanding of our husband in the kitchen.
如果我们能去改变我们对厨房里面的老公的误
Okay,
解
we'll
的话，
continue with the wheel of life.
好，我们会继续来讲生命之轮
Session 14
到第14堂课。
in the next class.
好，我们下一堂课见。
Thank you, and thank you, Stanley, for translating.
谢谢 Stanley，谢谢大家。